Hey guys, welcome back to FM8tutorials.com. This is part 3 of the series we've been doing this month based around making pad sounds in FM8 and using the Morph matrix editor to just kind of create some variations in that sound. So in part 1 we created a kind of sequenced sort of arpeggiated pad sound, and then in part 2 we looked at how we could automate that sound effectively using some filter sweeps and some kind of slight variations in the FM matrix, and then just using this morph kind of feature to just kind of like automate the sound and just create some variations. And in this tutorial I was going to show you how to make this pad sound. And in part 4 I was going to show you how to use the morph feature in FM8 to just completely flip a sound on its head. So just holding down one note here, we've got this sound in the bottom left, bottom right, top right. So effectively we've got 4 different sounds within one patch. And this is one of the features that makes FM8 so powerful, to be able to do that. So for starters we're going to make this sound, and in part 4 we're going to look at how we can create those variations in the morph feature. So let's start off, create a new sound and go to the master section first. I'm going to have 3 voices for the sound. Take the detune up to about 44 and pan those voices out, so pan position up to 72 and analog up to 70, and then the digital up to about 57. So it would just be sine wave at the moment. So let's move over to the operator section next and set up some of these operators. So for operator F, I'm just going to take the ratio down to 0.25. So this is just a bit deeper, more subby, and yeah, route all the sounds through a filter. So F can route to the filter at around 80, and turn the filter on, route that to the output at full volume 100, and then yeah, we're going to be using all the operators, so we might as well just turn them all on now. And operator E, I'm going to take the ratio down to 0.125, so even lower than F, and actually going to use a waveform of the 1+5, keep everything else the same, and just route this to the filter slightly higher. And let's just take this cutoff up for now so you can hear the kind of higher frequencies in the filter. I'm also going to feed E into F, around 23, and F into itself at 35. Okay, so next operator D, and then go 0.5 on the ratio. I'm actually going to detune it slightly, 0.4910, and going to make this a third formant wave, and this is just going to feed into E and not go to the output really, or the filter. So, and it's only going to go up by 8. But even that tiny amount is having a bit of an effect on the sound. So I'm going to feed it into itself as well. 35. Move back to the master section quickly and just take the pitch up by 1 octave. Yeah. Okay, operator C is going to go 0.25 again. and I have a soft tri-state for the waveform, and this is going to route straight to the filter at 100. So yeah, it's helping with the tone of the sound, and just feed into itself at 10 as well. And I'm also going to take this offset down to -1, or sorry, +1. It's just going to give us a nice kind of warm, sort of thick, warm effect on the sound. And then operator B next, and go 0.25 on the ratio. Can have a sawtooth wave. It's going to feed into itself at 10 again, and it's going to feed into F at 4. You can hear the effect that's having on the sound. It's quite nice. But just subtly go into F or 5 should be alright. It's also going to feed into C at 37. Can hear that's just brought out some really nice top end in the sound. So operator A, for now we're just going to leave, because we're actually going to bring that into the sound in some of the other morphs, so just leave that as it is for now. So that's the kind of basic tone of our sound sorted there. So next we can probably look at some envelopes. So we're going to have some different envelopes for this sound. So operator A, although it's not actually evident in this sound yet, I'm just going to set up this envelope, and we're going to use this in one of the other morphs. But whilst we're setting up the envelopes, we might as well do this, because you can't actually use the morph feature on the envelopes. They'll stay the same for all of these morph positions. So it's going to I'm just going to have tempo sync this envelope here, and I'll pull it so it's looping over 2/16. Pull a bit of release out. If I control click in here, I'm creating a loop. Maybe set it to fixed now, so, and something like that will just give us this kind of reverse. We hear this envelope on operator A in part 4, so, but we've got it set up for now, which is nice. So operators B and C next. I'm going to link these two together, and just going to pull down the attack a little bit, so it's not going to sort of have too much transient on these operators, and pull out a little bit of release. Then operators D, E and F can all link together, and tempo sync these two. And I just wanted to back the attack off of these envelopes, or these operators, and yeah, and then it just kind of loops at a sort of nice sustain point. So zoom out until we see that 1/8, and then just uncheck the fixed there, and yeah, just back this attack off so it kind of goes up to the 1/8, and then just this slope here, and then just pull the sustain loop out, so it loops over to the 4/8 like that. Add a bit of release, fix them again. So we're getting that sort of, on these 3 envelopes here, we're getting a slightly slower attack. Which just gives a nice bit of movement to the beginning of the sound. So we can also, whilst we're here, can set up some noise and filter envelopes. We're not actually kind of set up these sounds properly yet, but whilst we're in the envelope section, these two can link together. Tempo sync again, and we'll hear this when we set up the filter in a second, but we're just going to zoom right out, uncheck the fixed box, and then just pull the sustain out. So we're just going to get a nice kind of sweep basically on the filter. Check that fixed box again. So we're pulling it out so it's over the looping over the 4. So we've got back in the attack off again, and it's just going to sweep down, maybe pull this slope up a bit, something like that, which we'll hear in effect in a second. So yeah, move over to Z next, the filter. Let's set this up on filter 1, just take the cutoff down to 0, resonance can come down to about 30. Can stay in a low pass mode, keep the spread at 10 for filter 2, resonance to come around to about 30 again, low pass mode. And this envelope amount, we set this envelope for this filter, so let's send the filter through the envelope. So what we're getting now is opening up a little bit and then it's slowly closing again. And because we've set this, we've tempo synced it and we've put this sustain point over to the 4, it's actually going to loop over. So yeah, it kind of closes right on the sort of end of the 8-bar section, or 4-bar section, sorry. So yeah, nice kind of envelope. So we set up the envelope for that noise operator, but actually the noise is not going to come into effect until we start using some of these other morphs. So everything here can just stay the same for the time being. So next up we can just set some modulation, and just rather than have this vibrato effect is currently, well, by default in FM8 it's routed via the mod wheel, but I just wanted a bit of constant vibrato on the sound, so send this LFO 1 straight to the pitch at 11. You can keep this LFO setting down here, you can keep that the same, and just add in a bit of vibrato to the sound. So next thing to do is add some effects and Peak EQ, do some volume, a bit of high frequency as well. We can add some reverb here too. Push the dry wet up to about 64. Treble, put that up, and the bright, put that's about 3/4 of the way. Getting quite a big sort of reverb on there now. Chorus delay, take the time up to around 66. Sync the delay, push that feedback up to around 39. Take some low cut off the delay so we're not getting any bottom end on the delay. And that should do really, maybe just pull the dry wet down a little bit. So there's our pad sound set up. So what we're going to do in part 4 is use this Morph feature to create 4 pad sounds effectively within this same patch, but that's our first pad sound set up there. So yeah, come and check us out for part 4. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial, hope you found it useful. Any questions, please get in touch, and yeah, hope to see you in part 4. Cheers, bye.